Okay, I seriously hate that I have to do this story today, but I have information about what is happening on YouTube, which is an extraordinarily important agenda-setting platform at this point in the world of news and politics. It just is, whether we want it to be or not, it is. And what I have to tell you today is terrible, and if I didn't tell you, I wouldn't be doing my job. I am actually worried that I'm going to get in what we might call trouble in some way for me even doing this story today. But what is taking place has to be made as widely known as possible so that we can at least try to take control back of what's going on. What is taking place is that Google has unofficially, but sort of officially, made YouTube corporate media at this point in time when it comes to news and politics. Okay? YouTube used to be about independent content of all kinds, alternatives to corporate media. That applied a lot to news and politics. But now, as I have been suspecting for months and have been telling you for weeks, they have rewired their algorithm and are almost completely stopping recommendations of independent news and politics channels like this one, like Sam Seder's Majority Report, Kyle Kulinski's Secular Talk, and are instead recommending people watch instead CNN's YouTube channel, Fox News' YouTube channel, MSNBC's, and other legacy corporate media channels. Now, I don't want to redo the whole story because there's so much new data that I have for you today. And again, I could get destroyed by YouTube for doing this. But I have to tell you because what's going on and what we've uncovered is absolutely stunning. Just to refresh a little bit, our channel has been getting fewer and fewer views from YouTube's recommended video algorithm. When you watch videos on YouTube, YouTube suggests other things to watch alongside or below the video. The idea is to keep you watching as long as possible. Okay. We used to get a lot of recommended video views from YouTube's algorithm. I told you previously, I estimated that we had lost about 2 million views per month from this algorithm, recommending our videos more and more infrequently. That was a massive underestimate. There's a disturbing new metric I looked at. On YouTube, some of the people watching our videos, like anybody else's, some of the people are subscribers and some aren't, okay? Of course, you don't have to be a subscriber to a YouTube channel to watch the videos on that channel. We have lost millions of non-subscriber views per month over the last several months. And non-subscriber views are determined by YouTube's algorithm, okay? This graphic we're putting up on the screen is disgusting. The numbers of views from subscribers has slowly trickled up, which makes sense. As we gain subscribers over time, we get a few more views from subscribers over time. That's the blue line on the bottom. It's a slow uptick. The red line is non-subscriber views. This is determined wholly, totally by the YouTube algorithm. 8 million non-subscriber views in December, just a straight line decline down to under 5 million in June. A shortfall not of 2 million views a month as I thought, but of 3 million views per month. Most channels don't even get 3 million views ever. Even most active YouTube channels don't get 3 million views per year, never mind per month. And our shortfall from the decline of only non-subscriber views is more than 3 million views per month. It's a lot of money for us, not going to lie. Now, lots of people wrote in and said, David, okay, you're losing views from the algorithm, but who is gaining them? If you really are right about this, the YouTube audience continues to grow. If you are losing views from the recommended video algorithm, someone must be gaining those views. And that is exactly right. And I spent the weekend researching this, and I am now ready to tell you exactly who is gaining. And it's all corporate channels. You are likely going to be disgusted by this, but maybe not surprised. A guy named Mark Ledwich put together a tool from publicly available recommendation data where you can look at the percentages of recommendations within news and politics to different channels. Let's put this first image up on the screen. What you will notice, and I'll describe it to people who aren't watching, is that on May 1st, something very specific happened. The David Pakman Show, Kyle Kulinski, Sam Seder, now I'm even including Steven Crowder here because I want to show you that this does not appear to be politically biased. All of the recommended views as a percentage of those days' news and politics recommendations dropped off a cliff, while at the exact same time, the recommended views for CNN's YouTube channel and MSNBC's and Fox News's increased. If you look before May 1st, channels like mine and others were getting somewhere in the range of 1 to 3% of the recommended views in news and politics from this broader list of some of the largest news and politics channels. On May 1st, those numbers crashed, and they went from between 1 and 3% to between 0.03% and 0.5%. Now, you might think, well, those are all small numbers, 1 to 3% down to 0.03 to 0.5%. That's not a big difference. Understand that this is a pool of, it's either hundreds of millions or billions of total views. If I am getting 0.1% of the recommendations, and before I was getting 1.5%, that is a decline of greater than 90%, okay? On the same day, early May of this year, CNN, MSNBC, and Fox went from getting, in the case of Fox News' YouTube channel, 5 to 8% of the recommended views, all the way to 12 to 18%. That's a 50% increase of recommended views for Fox's YouTube channel. CNN, MSNBC, same thing. Now, they may come after me for going public with this, and if that happens, I'm going to let you know. But this is serious because it could literally decimate channels like mine and others that you might like. Whether you like channels on the left or right, I don't care. It doesn't matter. This appears to be affecting channels of all political persuasions. Let me show you another image just comparing the David Pakman Show and CNN so it's easier to read the data. It's not as scrunched. As you can see, the same day, May 1, 2019, and it remains the case since then, CNN spikes and we drop. Let's look at another example. Compare the David Pakman Show YouTube channel to MSNBC. Again, this is not left-right. Maybe some of that exists, but this is pro-corporate and anti-independent, okay? So I hope it's clear now the direction this is going. I had many phone calls over the weekend with all sorts of hosts. We don't think we can do a damn thing about this as far as YouTube's algorithm. We're all exploring options. We're all worried. But ultimately, if YouTube is going to do this, I don't know what we can do. It's completely within their right to do this. I just think it is a perversion of their original existence, which was independent content. Now, just the same old legacy corporate content that people get through cable subscriptions. This is a decision that is anti-independent, pro-corporate. Views go from independent channels to Fox News, which is right-wing editorially. They go from independent channels to MSNBC, which is center-left editorially. But they're both huge corporate news. That is the point. Now, in the meantime, there's a ton of crazy stuff on YouTube that's going totally unpoliced, and it's stunning. Example, there are YouTube ads running for video games which clearly violate the copyright of, for example, Nintendo. Take a look at this. This is an ad for a game called Super Mario Maker 2. This is clearly not a Nintendo game. This is clearly a total violation of Nintendo's copyright on Mario. And yet it's on YouTube making money and paying for ads. Another example, last week I told you that Gavin McInnes, the right-wing Proud Boys founder, his content was briefly banned from YouTube, then allowed back on. The vast majority of the content is not what would be called brand safe. He is advertising on YouTube, even though the content itself is not considered brand safe. What is happening here? So this is very quickly imploding. Weekly, this is getting worse. So the only solution is to separate revenue from advertising, okay? If we separate the revenue that shows like ours get from the whims of YouTube's algorithmic decisions, we make ourselves immune to this toxic and disgusting failed system that has been identified as toxic and failing for a very long time. And it sort of comes and goes in waves. And what I'm talking about is you've just got to support the shows you like directly. We make it really easy, okay? If you go to joinpakman.com, you can sign up in under a minute. It's not a lot of money. If you buy one of those lattes a month, and I hate these latte comparisons, but they are sometimes illuminating. If you buy one latte per month, you can give us $3 or $4 a month, and it'll actually make a really big difference. We estimate only 1% of our entire audience supports us financially. If we can get it to 2% or 3%, or imagine we could get it to 5%, the YouTube issue is no longer a problem. We just focus on doing stories that we want to do, that are the valuable stories that the audience wants us to do, okay? So we can take ownership of what's going on. We can't control YouTube's algorithm, but if we understand membership culture, if we say, let's just support the programs we like, we might spend $100 a month on a cable subscription, mostly for channels we don't even actually watch or want to support, I'll send David Pakman $6, or I'll go on Patreon and send him $1 a month. We do have a coupon code on our website. It's This Is 2020. It'll give you a 40% discount. I want you involved at any level because even $1 a month is really valuable when you have 700,000 subscribers on YouTube and several 100,000 podcast listeners, et cetera, et cetera. Even just people throwing in $1 or $2 a month makes a big difference. June was our second best month ever for new members. I would like to make July the best ever. And if we do that, I will tell you that that's something that we've done. I seriously hate that this is happening. I want to be talking to other hosts, not about, are we going to lose 90% or 80% of our YouTube revenue? I want to be talking to them about what's the best content we can make. How are you covering the upcoming election? Are we going to the conventions? Are we doing live broadcasts of debates? I hate that this has become the topic. And if they come after me for talking publicly about it and sharing this data with you, I'm going to let you know, believe me. But in the immediate, whether it's this show or other shows, if you have a few extra bucks a month, this is a really good time to say, I am not going to allow this to destroy programs I find valuable. Join Pakman.com, get a membership. And I'll update you later this week as to what's going on and how things are going. Really, really sad state of affairs.